This is a video response to Vegans and Veg Are Better People by Kim XXYYY. People who refuse to make sweeping generalizations and are not dogmatic about their beliefs are humanity's hope for a brighter tomorrow and a better future. 5 reasons why people who do not make sweeping generalizations and follow dogmatic beliefs are better people. 1. If you do not follow dogmatic beliefs, you are an outside-the-box thinker. All scientists refuse to follow dogma, or they eventually fail. Scientific thought is the antithesis to dogmatic belief. 2. People who refuse to follow dogmatic beliefs know what they know from evidence. Interesting. Kim says vegans and vegetarians know what they know from knowledge, which is really amusing when you look at the sentence. Anyway, people who do not follow dogmatic beliefs also know what they know from experience. However, they tend to be less spiritual because they are, rational. However, it does not preclude spirituality. I am not dogmatic, yet I do believe in a God. Number 3. People who refuse to follow dogmatic beliefs also tend to pay more attention to stuff like factory farming. Kim goes into detail about how vegans and vegetarians are less ignorant to the crimes of Western factory farming, which is pretty awful. However, if you don't follow dogmatic beliefs, you tend to be rational, and you tend to find out stuff like the horrible waste of energy factory farming is, how cruel they are to the animals, and so on. Number 4. People who refuse to be dogmatic are more compassionate and in tune with their bodies, themselves, and others. Yep, that's right. If you try to think on a case-by-case basis and not make sweeping generalizations, you tend to be a better person because you're in touch with other people. You don't just assume that they suck because they don't do the same things you do and don't follow the same dogmas that you do. Number 5, and most important, people who refuse to be dogmatic can see past the current moment and can picture a brighter tomorrow. Kim goes on to talk about how if you eat meat, you're a barbarian and less evolved, blah 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 blah. What Kim leaves out in her video is that not all people who eat meat eat factory farmed meat all the time. Not all people who eat meat eat ridiculous copious amounts of it. Not all people who eat meat even eat beef, which is the most factory farmed meat around, chicken following shortly after. People like me tend to go for shellfish or bison, mainly because the bison industry is what is preventing the species from becoming extinct, and shellfish cannot be factory farmed. They have to be fished. And also, if you make sure you get them from a responsible source, you're knowing that you're getting your shellfish from a group of people that aren't choking dolphins or some other shit. People like this, these PETA people, they've been dogmatized into believing that people who do not follow their prescriptions of dogma are inherently evil. Some people happen to be iron deficient, and though they try to not eat meat, they are forced to, because if they don't, they get really sick and die. My mother has iron deficiency. My family has a history of iron deficiency. I tried going completely vegetarian because I went on some PETA type crusade. However, I started getting extremely lethargic and went to the hospital. What I do now is eat most of my protein from grains, And I make sure I get some iron from shellfish and bison. Because supplements alone don't do the trick. Although I do take supplements. Anyway, my point here is, don't be dogmatic about anything. Even something about compassion towards animals. Because not all cases fit the mold. And I'd like to add one thing. Why is PETA the only representative that is trying to get rid of factory farming that is nationally recognized? You guys discredit the entire movement. I mean, someone hears some shit about how if you eat meat, you're a retard. You're not compassionate. You can't be an environmentalist. You suck. I'll never date you. You smell funny. And all this other crap. They're going to look at your entire movement as a bunch of hippie bullshit. And they're not going to listen to you when you talk about the cruelty of factory farming. Instead of being dogmatic, judgmental, and making sweeping generalizations about people, just try to take other people into account when you talk to them. I know it's hard because you've been raised by your clique to think if someone eats something that is not of the vegetable phylum, then they're just bad. But you know, there are good people out here. And some of them are different than you. I really wish you'd drop the anger and the horrid crusade and try to just educate people about the horrors of factory farming and of alternatives. Don't hate. Be positive in your message. That's it for now. Peace.